I think this is good now. Jose?
Hey everyone. Hey everyone. Can everyone hear me?
Hi.
How are you?
Good. Long time to see. How are you?
Long time. I'm good. I'm good.
Hi, Jose. Nice to meet you.
Hi, nice to meet you as well.
This is Guadalupe. Guadalupe, this is Jose. So,
Hi.
okay.
So I would be the one that would be helping you. Flavia's trying to jump on the Zoom as well. I don't know if she's having issues. I know she said that it was requesting the team ID thing or meeting ID, and I forwarded it to her. So hopefully
Okay.
she can jump on soon.
No problem. No problem. But just to get started in this meeting, Jose, this is just to kind of get everything clarified, know where you're going, know the direction we're going to head. Guadalupe is actually, when I book, we'll both be booking like specific homes that you're interested in, whether it's in Tampa, Fort Myers, or Orlando. And then Guadalupe would actually meet you at the location when you're ready to actually view the house in person. Okay. Now, Flavia, that's hopping on the call. I know she's having a bit of trouble, but she's hopping on the call. She's the one that's going to be able to help with the financing. She's the lender. So any questions that we have with regards to financing, with regards to down payments and stuff like that, she's going to be the best person to speak to. So that's why I wanted her on this call.
Right.
Okay.
And is she the lender that you guys go through with all of your clients, or you try and get them to go through her for most part?
Go ahead, Guadalupe.
Yeah, I use her for when my clients don't have a particular lender. But I ask my clients, you know, do you have a lender you prefer to work with? Because we could go with whoever you guys want to work with, as long as, you know, we have a pre-approval letter from the lender letting us know, you know, that they did their approval process and whatnot. And we get that pre-approval letter, because when we submit offers here in Florida, we have to attach that pre-approval letter with our offer. That's like a backup for the seller or the listing agent to see that, you know, if they do choose our offer, you've already been pre-approved by the lender.
Makes sense.
Yes.
Yeah. So we can always see what she has to say. If you decide that you do not want to use her and you want to go with another lender, you do have that choice. Yeah. But it just gives
yes, for sure. You work with whoever you feel more comfortable with. You know, Flavia I use for most of my clients. One, because she speaks Spanish, and most of my clients are Spanish speaking, but and she's able to translate, you know, do everything with them, because I don't like to be involved in the lending process. I feel that that's very personal. Unless the client wants me involved, I'll be involved, helping them with the documentation and whatnot that is required. Other than that, the lending part, I leave that with the lender. So the client works directly, because a lot of clients probably don't want me to know, you know, their financial stuff. So I try to stay out of it unless the client, you know, wants me involved.
Understood. That makes sense.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes. Let me text her, see if
okay. So yeah,
she was able.
Just the big part of this is we want to make sure we get the lending, because if we show you properties, we don't want to show you properties that are above what they would approve you for, because then it kind of causes for a little bit more of disappointment, right? You see a property, you like it, and then at the end of the day, you're not pre-approved for that amount, so then we can't even go further with that property.
Got it. Yeah, it makes sense.
Okay. And now, in terms of that, are you planning to move to Florida, or are you planning, it's more like an investment property?
No, it'd be more of an investment property. My wife and I, we've been thinking about this for a while, and something that we're looking to do maybe by the end of the year or early next year. We'd probably be leaning more towards using it as like an Airbnb property, like on Verbo and all that stuff, and then just have somewhere we can stay when we do decide to go vacation. We'd have somewhere to go.
Yeah.
But primarily either as a rental or a vacation property, to like Airbnb or a rental property.
Okay, perfect. Okay, I'm just making some notes here.
Yep.
Okay, and now with this property, is it gonna be, I just wanna know, is it gonna be your name, or is it gonna be you and your wife?
Both of us, yeah.
Okay.
But like, just to give you guys a background, like I'm here in the US, I'm in California right now on a work visa, and my wife is here as like a dependent on my work visa. So like both our names would be on it. I'm the only one that like goes through the loans, and essentially like I'm the only one that has credit built up because she hasn't been here that long.
Okay,
So like all like the pre-approvals and all the financials, all that stuff would go
it's
through
gonna
me.
be you. Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. Got it. All right. And Guadalupe, in terms of Flavia for the lending part?
Yes, I know when I spoke to her, was it yesterday? She was asking me if, he was a citizen here in the United States, or was it gonna be a foreign national, loan. And I wasn't sure. I told her I didn't know, but that I'm sure that we could ask, when we got with him today.
Correct. Yeah.
So he's his residency is in Canada.
Yes.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay, I'll let her know that too.
Okay. Okay, perfect. So yeah, I guess right now we're just gonna wait for Flavia in terms of, because we really want to know the lending part. I would like to know a little bit more of timeline. And then after she can ask any specific questions. And I'd like to know more in regards to Canadian residency. If they're fully Canadian, he has a work visa. How about those that don't have a work visa? I would love to hear like options from
Yes,
Flavia.
I know, like, as far as with my clients that I work with her, when they don't have like US citizenship here, she does my ITIN loans, because if my client has an ITIN where he reports his taxes here because he's working here, she
Okay.
can do the ITIN loan. So I don't know. Oh, there. I don't know if that's
Well,
her.
actually, I do have a social security in this country. My wife is on an I-10, but I do have a social security that I pay taxes into and all that stuff. So it's pretty much
Hola,
just.
Flavia.
Hola, finalmente, perdóname, ¿te acuerdas que estaba diciendo? Estaba saliendo de un evento y ahí, bueno, no entró, pero ahora sí. Muchas gracias, ¿cómo están
Okay.
todos?
Good. Jose's on the
Hola.
line.
Hi, everyone.
Lita Shonda is on the line with us.
Hello, Flavia. How are you doing today?
Hi, Tishana, I'm good, how are you?
Good. Okay, so I have Jose here. So just in summary, he is a Canadian citizen. However, he does have a work visa, and his wife has the I-10, you said, Jose?
Yeah, an I-10. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I have a social security number. So.
Correct. And then we just wanted to know, in proceeding with the loan application, so we can get a pre-approval, what's the steps you're gonna need from Jose? What documentation? Like, he just wants to kind of know what to do moving forward.
Yeah.
What do you need from him?
So Jose, okay, so you have a work visa?
Correct. Yeah, I'm here on an H-1B visa.
Have you, is that a visa that you renew every year or every 2 years? How does it work?
So it's a work visa. I got sponsored through my employer. It's valid for 3 years. It's valid until October of next year, and then I can renew it for another 3 years, so it'd be 6 years total. The idea being that I'm also working on getting a permanent residency, which is I am working on it. So the goal would be like sometime, probably around this time next year, I'd be a US permanent resident.
Okay, and how long have you been here?
I've been in California about 4.5 years now.
Okay, so have you renewed that visa already?
No,
Because if
I
the
was
visa is
on.
for 3 years, so yes.
I was on a previous visa. It's called the TN visa, so it's like a like a NAFTA work sponsorship, and then I switched over to the H-1B because the H-1B is a dual intent visa when you're trying to go for permanent residency, which is what I'm trying to do. So I switched over. I had another visa, and then I got switched over to the H-1B, and I'm about almost 2 years into the H-1B.
What was the first visa again?
TN visa.
Okay. All right. So when we have visa, like work visas, and we have, you know, history of renewal visa. Most of the time we can take those visa and we can do like as a domestic loan. It doesn't need to be a foreign national loan. I just need to check the visas because, as you know, there are a lot of visas out there.
Yeah,
And
of course,
you know,
yeah.
I have a list of guidelines where I check the visas, and you know, it tells me from those visa what I will need, you know, in order to qualify as far as, you know, visa and work permit and, you know, so on and so forth. I guess maybe the best thing is is that, can you send me a copy of your visa? And do you still have in the prior visa that you used to have?
I don't have, it's just more so just a stamp on my passport that shows that I have a valid visa. Everything's done electronically though. I'd have to see if I can get a copy of it, but
Okay,
it would,
because that's
yeah.
what I need. I need to check you know, each visa that you have and the dates and see, you know, if we can do like a conventional loan with those visa that you have. So in order for me to check that, I need either if that visa is a stamp on your passport and it shows on your passport the visa, the number, the dates, I can use that too.
Okay, yeah, I guess I should be able to pull that, yeah, no problem.
I can give you my email address if you want. Like, do you want me to give it now to you?
Yeah, sure, yeah, like I'm writing notes right now on my computer, so yeah, go for it.
Okay, it's Flavia, Flavia
Yep,
dot Portal, Portal,
sorry, what was the last part?
Portal, Portal,
Yeah, okay.
Portal
Mhm.
at ccm.com.
That CCM is an M as in Michael?
Yes.
Okay, got it.
Mm-hmm. So if you can send me the copy of the current visa and the prior visa, and I'll check with that. I just have to check guidelines and see what I need from there. So if they're good to go, those visas, then, you know, we're just talking about, then we just have to look at credit and, you know, do like a domestic loan rather than a foreign national loan. If those visas, they don't qualify as far as domestic, then, you know, I have to do some other research, you know, for the foreign national loan.
Yeah, that makes sense. So do you need both, considering that the old one is essentially expired, like it doesn't exist anymore? I just switched from one to the other, so I'm not on the previous visa, like I don't use that at all when I travel anymore.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah, I would need both because I need to show renewal or change of visa history.
Got it, okay. Makes sense. Makes sense.
Jose, do you have any questions for Flavia?
I guess I'd like to like know kind of like more about what you guys do, like seeing how many clients you guys manage, like how many people you guys see, like how many homes you guys are looking at through the year. And if you guys could like go through like a step by step, like a general like overview of like, hey, what's the process? Like we go pre-approval and then like all this stuff, like kind of like just like step by step, like very high level as to like how the process would work and like what the timelines would be on that, like based on like how it usually works.
Yeah, I mean, the process is, I mean, now we check the visa. If the visa qualifies for domestic, then I'll send you a list of documentations that I'm gonna need for the pre-approval, right? And we're talking about basic documents like tax returns, W-2s, pay stubs, copy of a driver's license, copy of a social. Once I receive that, then we're gonna put credit, we're gonna calculate income, and we're gonna calculate all your liabilities. And based on that, you know, we have the pre-approval letter, right? Based on income, credit, liabilities.
Right.
And with the pre-approval letter, I'll give you like the loan terms, which means how much is the interest rate, the terms, like how many years we're doing the loan, 30 years, 20 years, 15 years. And I'll give you like a few worksheet with numbers so you can see proposed monthly payment, you can see closing cost. And then if you're okay with that, then your next step is to, go out with the realtor, look for a house. Once you have a contract on a property, then we continue with the finance part. Sometimes, people get in a contract very quick. Sometimes it takes more time. If it takes over probably, 3 weeks, then, I will need to update pay stubs once you get a contract, but then we just update the documentation and we move forward with the finance part or the appraisal, title work, until we get a loan commitment. We work on the conditions. Once we satisfy the conditions, then we're ready to close. It's a lot of information, but
Yeah.
resuming, that's the steps of the process.
And then in terms of like, say once you already get the visa and it's approved for like, if it gets approved for like domestic loans, and then you do like looking for the pre-approval, how long does that usually take, like the turnaround to get that approved, or you see how much you get approved?
Once I have your documentations, it's 24 to 48 hours. It's very quick.
Okay, so it's quick. Okay, got it.
Mhm. Yeah. Are you looking to buy in Florida, California?
Currently, like we're looking at Florida, and then we're also considering other markets. But I know that Tashana is supposed to stuff that she does stuff in Florida, so that is one of the states that we were looking at. We were looking at Florida, Texas, and some other southern states, just looking for like a rental property. It would be our first one, and just kind of like seeing what's out there, get our feet wet, just kind of getting a feel for how that works. So it's our first time doing it, so.
Okay,
So I figured
cool.
yeah.
And are you gonna be transferred to Florida, or you can work remote?
No, I would stay in California. Like the idea would be that I'm looking to just have a property that I can manage remotely. And
So
then use it
investment
whenever.
property, okay.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, like I plan to stay in California for the long term if I can. So
Okay.
I mean I do
You
like
wanna
Florida,
come
but
to
I just
Florida?
I love Florida.
Yeah.
It's fun. I was in Miami there a few months ago and Orlando as well. It's a good time. But I just haven't really thought about moving yet. And it's just like I'm still in the process of like getting my permanent residency. So it's kind of like once I have that, then I can start thinking, all right, do I want to move around? Do I stay in California, or see what I want to do? So seeing this where the opportunities come up. So
Okay.
Right.
Where in California are you?
I'm in San Diego.
Ah, that's a good part. Okay.
Yeah. And it's expensive, but it's a nice town. I really enjoy
Beautiful.
my time here. So yeah.
Yeah. That's
What about you guys? What part of Florida are you guys all located
I'm like, Sarasota is what's more familiar down here. Siesta Key, I don't know, south of Tampa area.
in? Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, Sarasota area. You never heard of us? Never heard of
I have
Sarasota?
heard of it. I have heard of it.
We're famous, Jose.
I've never been there. I'm trying
Or
to think. Yeah, but I
Miami
think
area, right?
I've only done
Miami,
and
Orlando.
Yeah,
Yeah,
those are the
those
only
are the
two
big
I've
ones.
done.
Or my area, West Palm, Fort Lauderdale, Miami.
Yeah, I've been to Fort Lauderdale. Yeah, I've been to Fort Lauderdale.
Mhm.
Yeah, just mostly the touristy areas, the really touristy
Yeah.
areas.
Especially
Cool.
Miami, for sure.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Miami.
Cool. All right. Good deal. So, Jose, any other questions?
I don't think so. I mean, it seems pretty straightforward. Like it's just getting a pre-approval. It seems like the big first step before we take anything more major, right? Unless I
Yeah.
missed something.
'Cause once
I'm
we get the
sure
approval, we'll
this-
house search.
Yeah, this
Right.
first this first conversation, it's it's when we start everything, but as you start receiving the pre-approved, the few worksheet, then you're gonna have more questions. So
Yeah.
it's usually like that for everybody, so it's just fine. It means that we did a good job explaining to you.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, send it over the visa. I'll take a look. I'll check the guidelines, and then we go from there as far as documentation. So, I'm probably gonna check this today for you. And if I see that it's good to go for domestic, then I'll send you the documentation, you know, the list of documents, then you send it back to me, and then we go from there.
Yeah, that works for me.
Yeah.
I guess I only have one other question, and it's probably getting ahead of myself. But once say like the pre-approval is done and everything's locked in, it's a matter of looking for properties. Would all of them like viewing them, like would I have to be there in person? Just because thinking like flying back and forth from one side to the other is a bit difficult. But is any of that would you be able to do that remotely, or or would you recommend to do it in person, or?
That would be with me. It all depends. A lot of listing agents want the buyer to be present, but a lot of them I do videos with, you know, I'll do FaceTime with my client and I'll show them around, you know, when I'm at the house. But yes, we especially with the crazy market still being crazy, you know, a lot of the listing agents wants in person, you know, somebody to be there to see it.
Right.
And I could be your eyes, you know, and then I'll FaceTime you or do video, and we can show it to you through video.
Got it. Yeah,
If that
makes
works
sense,
with you, so that you don't
yeah,
have
it
to.
would for me.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
then before we write the contract, if you want to fly in and see it in person, you know, that would be your choice as well.
That's what I was
Yeah.
suggesting. When you found one that's like, that's your home, then maybe
Mhm.
that's the time that you go physically before you sign that dot and make sure it's like for sure official.
Yeah,
Just go
I
see
totally
that one.
agree. I agree.
As far as for me, everything can be remote. Everything is signed, it's automated.
That's
We
perfect.
can
Yeah.
close, I mean, we can close in country, out of the country. So, yep, technology is being a bless.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I definitely
sure.
think these last 2 years have definitely shown that we can do a lot of stuff remote. Doesn't always have to be in person. So, yeah.
Yes.
Perfect.
Mhm.
And also, Flavia, I actually have just an external question. For those, Jose is a little bit different where he has the visa. How about, because I'm running across a lot of Canadians that are interested in purchasing in Florida, but have nothing in the United States of America. How does
Yeah.
that application work? Because there's lots that are gonna be coming from Canada to Florida for sure.
For foreign nationals, I mean, I can send a list of documents that I need from them.
Perfect.
It starts with a 30% down payment
Okay.
for a foreign national loan. Usually those investors, they want to put more down payment because they want to see more cash flow from the investment. So but the list is very simple. Like, for example, if they're self-employed, all I need to verify income, it's a letter from an accountant where the accountant's gonna tell us what they do, how long, and what's the year-to-date income, and what is the income for the past 2 years, okay? And usually I like to send that email to the client because I have all the sample letters. It makes it easier for them. We need copy of passport, copy of the visa, and I need a bank reference letter from the bank they have been banking in their country, because we don't pull international credit, and we're not gonna make them transfer any credit here. Some banks they do, but we just simply need just a bank reference letter for credit wise. That bank reference letter needs to say that they have been banking with this bank for over 2 years and they're in good status with the bank.
Okay, understood.
And they need to have a bank account in the United States. Okay, that's a must, because all the foreign nationals all the lenders that lend to foreign national, they want the payment to be automated withdrawal. So for that, they need to have a bank account here. And that's about it.
Flavia, with that being said, they could open up a bank account once they start the process, or does it have to be longer? How would that work?
I mean, I need to have the bank account probably 3 months before, not 3 months, 3 weeks before closing.
Okay.
So with Canadians, I had clients that what they did, they just crossed the border and then they went to a bank and they opened an account and went back. I had people doing that in the past.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Just because it's easier for them. So they don't have to fly to Florida to open a bank account. They just cross the border and then they open a bank account.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay.
Hello. Hi, Flavia. Hi, Guadalupe. Hi, Jose.
Hi.
It's
Hi there.
Sandra. Guadalupe, you probably don't remember me. I was the one in the background telling you the answers for the,
Yes, I remember you.
okay. So, by the way, I'm Tashana's mother. And I'm a realtor as well with eXp Realty. However, I have some clients as well, and these questions are for Flavia, since you're into the financing. Question
Before
for
we get
you.
into that, sorry, before we get, Jose, do you have any more questions?
No, I think I'm good on my end.
And you can overhear if you
think
want to
you're-
learn more. And if you don't want, you can also come off. The choice is yours. Okay?
Okay, appreciate it. Actually, you know what? I'm still like working stuff, but I appreciate everyone's time and it's a pleasure meeting all of you. Yeah, I'll circle up sometime this weekend or by next week and get the information you guys need. So
Yeah, and then just follow up with me. We'll get this done. And then once we get the pre-approval, that's the fun part.
yeah, I'm
Yes.
sure it is. Yeah,
Yes,
can't wait.
finding the houses.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was
so we'll
nice meeting you,
definitely give
Jose.
a call.
Yes, nice to meet all of you. Appreciate your
All
time.
right,
you.
nice meeting you,
We'll
chat
Jose.
soon.
Take care.
Once that's
Bye-bye.
done, we'll set up a call and we'll look through some house. Okay, Mother, go ahead.
Okay, sorry, I wasn't aware. Sorry about that for Jose. Flavia, so I have a couple of questions. I have a client that's US citizen, however, resides in Canada, that has no established credit or history in the US, or has just recently started establishing credit history in the US. That wants to purchase under their US status. How would we go about doing something like that?
Okay, so they need, okay, I know, right? They need to have, they need to have the credit here, okay? If they don't have credit, we can take them as a US citizen living abroad, okay? But that's gonna be a foreign national loan, okay? Because their income, okay, even though they're US citizen, their income is foreign.
Right.
So it is considered a foreign national loan.
Okay, and now break down the foreign national loan aspect for me. Like, what exactly do they need as a foreign national client?
It really depends on the client. On a client like that, because they have U.S. citizenship, we don't, and if it's an investment property, and I think it is, right, because they're gonna live there, so it's pretty much gonna be an investment property. We can either do like full doc with the documentation that that I just had prior to Shonda, the CPA letter, or if the employee, it's a HR letter. HR letter needs to say what they do, how long, how much they get paid. We don't look at tax returns. They need to have a USA bank account. They need to have a visa, passport. I don't think Canadian needs a visa, so just valid passport. And a credit reference letter from their bank in Canada.
Okay. All right, good to know. And then the next,
just so you know, Canadians, they have very good interest rate in Canada, okay? Better than our rates during COVID, believe it or not. So they're used to a very low interest rate. So when we tell them our interest rate, they have a hard time sometimes, understanding why the rate is what we have. So, I'm just telling you ahead because, most of the Canadians that I talk to, In Canada, they're like 1%, 2%. That's normal for them. And
Mhm.
here we're not even, we're not close. I mean, not
What's
even
your
close
rates
by.
right now?
Yeah, I'm sorry, for the foreign national with a 30% down payment, the rate it's from 7.9 to 8.6, around that.
I beg your pardon? How much?
7.9 to
Yeah.
8.6. And depending on the situation, we
credit.
do have other outlets.
What,
We don't look at their credits.
what's the, so you're looking at 70% loan to value?
Yes.
1 second. So you're looking at 70% loan to value at 7.99 to 8.60%. What's the amortization?
It's a 30-year fix.
30-year fix.
Yes.
Wow.
The interest rate for foreign national, it's always high. It's always high. It's higher than domestic, right? So domestic now, if you Google mortgage, rates right now with a 20% down payment on Google, it's probably gonna show you around 6.7, 6.8. So when you look at that, then you understand that's not that, it's not so high, because it's really almost a point and a quarter from domestic rates.
So domestic, what's your domestic rates ranging from right now, please?
It's around 6.7. If you Google mortgage rates right now, that's what's going to show you around 6.7, 6.8.
And then how do you make money? Because you make money off of the rates, right?
Yeah, we get paid by the lender. Yes.
Yeah, but I understand you get paid by the lender, but you get paid by the points. So like based on if you offer a higher interest rate to the client, then you're going to get paid based on the points that, no?
Not exactly. We
Is
have
that
what's
how it
called
works in
par.
Canada?
No. So in Canada with the bank, because we have two options. You can get paid from, so we're a broker, right? And we have a deal with the banks. So we offer lower rates than majority of the banks. However, the lender pays the brokers. Now, if you're going through the bank, like if you were to walk into the bank, then apparently they go by the interest rate. So the higher the interest rate, the more money the representative makes at the bank. In the US now, I know it's not bank driven, it's predominantly broker driven. So I know you guys operate a little bit different over there in terms of how you guys are getting paid.
Yeah, I mean, we don't give like higher rates to get paid, different. We have what's called par rate, and usually, that's, I mean, we can, the client can have any rate they want, right? But if the par rate is 6.7 and they want a 5, they're gonna have to pay for the cost. That's called discount points. So they pay
Okay.
discount points to get the 5% that they want to. But if the par rate is 6.7, I mean, I don't have the power or authority to offer a 8 just so I can make more. We have, that goes, we don't have compliance for that. And that's called off sheet rate. We don't have rates that go that high so that we can, make it or have credit. So that's how it works here.
Now your lenders, do they discriminate against the area in terms of rate, or do they cut back on loan to value based on the population of a certain area?
No, but depending if we're doing foreign national loans, Orlando has restrictions. That's the only market in Florida that we have restrictions. The entire Florida, we're good to go. Only Orlando, because it's considered high risk area, especially because of the amount of short-term properties, but that's only for foreign national, not for domestic borrowers.
So give me an example of what, of a property, because two of my clients are looking for Orlando. So I wanted to kind of know, so I can kind of just guide them on what to look out for. So you
Okay, so Orlando, for example, foreign national, right? If they're buying a short-term rental property in Orlando, right? In the Kissimmee area, that's where the short-term rental properties are. If they're buying a short-term rental, it's a 60 to 65 LTV. Okay, so that means that they're gonna have to do like 35% down payment or 40% down payment. If it's a residential home with annual rent, not short-term rental, then it's a 70 LTV.
So short-term rental, is that considered Airbnb?
Yes and no. Yes, Airbnb is short-term rental, but Orlando, it's different, right? Orlando, like for example, where I live right now, we can do Airbnbs, but it doesn't mean that you're in a short-term area. Orlando is different. Orlando, like for example, Kissimmee, the Kissimmee area, most of the Kissimmee area, it's for short-term properties, short-term rental properties. It doesn't mean that all of them are short-term, but most of them are short-term. And we usually know when we look at the listing, it says that the property it's managed by, by a property management company. It's booked for the next, 3 months. So we already know it's a short-term property. The other way that we know it's a short-term property, the appraiser, when he goes to see the property, he's gonna note that it's a short-term property. But usually by experience, when we see the properties, we kind of already know whether or not it's a short-term property. So that for foreign nationals reduces the LTV, and that has to do with the layers of risk for the lender.
Okay.
Like for example, when COVID happened, right? I do a lot of foreign national in Orlando, right? So when COVID happened in Orlando, guess what? All those short terms were vacant, all of them, right? Because they couldn't, no one was, it wasn't allowed to rent. So what happened is that a lot of those foreign nationals, some of them, they default. Some of them, they were trying to contact the lender for a loan modification, for the forbearance. So that sometimes causes, the risk of that type of finance for that type of property causes the lender to, to reduces the loan to value.
Okay.
But if they're buying in an area where, it's totally residential, but the purpose of the property is Airbnb, the lender doesn't know that. We don't know that. It's just that the property, some properties in Orlando, they are 100% made for short-term rental.
Okay.
And that's a different type of property.
Mm-hmm.
Like condotels.
Okay. Yeah, it looks like 7.99, 8.6 areas. I'm just wrapping my head around everything so I know exactly how to proceed and advise the clients moving forward. I don't think they're interested in Kissimmee though, or maybe. Is Kissimmee the area where like Disney is or something?
Yes.
Oh, well, maybe they are interested in Kissimmee.
Yeah, a lot of Canadians, we have a lot of Canadians investing in the area.
Okay. And how much are properties ranging for in that area? Maybe Guadalupe, you might know this.
You're muted, Guadalupe. I see your mouth going, but you're muted.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I had people coming in. Yeah, I don't do a lot of Orlando area, but I'm sure it's kind of similar like here. I mean, it'll be probably near, high 300s, closer to the 400s right now.
Really? Is the market still hot over there? Like, or is it cooling down a little bit?
They're on the market a little longer, but the pricing is still crazy.
Is there
I mean, you
multiple
won't find
offers going on?
There's still some multiple offers, not as much like before, but yes, there's still multiple offers.
Okay.
And
And
yeah,
it's-
you won't find anything in the 300, like low 300s. It'll be higher 300s.
And rental, how much is the average rent around there for rentals?
I would think it's like 1900. It depends if it's a 2-bedroom, 2-1. But rentals are high too.
Yeah.
And really there's no rental properties. People are having a hard time finding rentals.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, the
Okay.
rental is outrageous. There's waiting lists for rentals.
Oh, wow. Okay. Thank you, Flavia, for answering my questions. And thank you,
Yeah.
Guadalupe.
Yeah, if you have
Shoshana, you
any
have
more
any questions?
questions,
No, those were my main questions. I got my questions answered.
And Shonda, sometimes when I have some Canadian clients, RBC, it's a Canadian bank here, and they're there too. Sometimes when I see their profile and because of the rate and they're not used to that rate, I tell them just try RBC and see if they will, approve you guys. Sometimes they go to RBC and get approved. Most of the times they don't. I guess they are very strict. But if they do, I mean, I know they get a good deal with RBC. Are you guys familiar with RBC?
Yes.
Yes, we are.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, well, we would take a different approach on that. RBC, we don't deal with RBC. RBC is our competitor, so we would have the clients just go through us.
So are you guys a lender?
So
No, we're
in
not
Canada,
lenders.
where we own our own mortgage brokerage. So we do the same thing you do, but on Canadian side. So we finance all the deals in
okay.
Canada. So, but the only thing is the Canadian rules are totally different than the American rules, right?
Mhm.
Like
Okay.
comparing apples to oranges. So we're basically learning everything new all over again for the American side when it comes to financing.
So what's the rate there now for domestic borrows?
Well, we deal with, first of all,
So we don't do, sorry,
Yeah.
let me just correct that. We
That's
don't
okay,
do
yeah.
domestic and foreigner rates.
Correct.
The rate is the rate. It's the same right across the board.
wow.
The only thing that's
That's
different,
interesting.
the only thing is different is as you would call it, as a domestic, you can put down minimum down payment of 5%. However, as a foreign national, you would have to automatically put down 30 or 35%.
And what is the rate, for example, for a foreign national with 30% down payment?
Whether it be foreign national or domestic, the rate currently right now is 5.29 for 5 years. And we don't
Okay.
do 30-year amortization. We don't do 30 years. We do 5-year terms. So we do 1-year term, 5-year term. Okay, so we do 1-year term, 2-year term, 3-year term, 4-year term, 5, 7, and 10. But we don't go past 10.
And the average is 5. So basically every 5 years, they come back to us to renew their mortgage, whether it's renewing, taking out equity, refinancing, but they come back to us every 5 years. That's on
So
average.
they're forced to refinance after 5 years, or if they did it for 5 years. Oh,
Or they can renew.
Yeah.
They can renew, but most
They
of the
can
time,
renew, but they're gonna renew at whatever the rate is at that time.
correct. They don't get the same rate they got 5 years ago.
At one point, you guys had very low rates, right? Of 2%.
Last year, I was actually talking to one of my clients. I got him a rate of 1.99 fixed for 5 years. Last year,
Because I remember
year,
they
July.
telling me that. I'm like, wow, that's very, very low.
Our variable 5-year rate right now is 4.2?
Yeah, no,
It's
4.70. Prime is at 4.70, and then if their lenders are offering any minus, then it's prime minus that.
yeah. Well, and RBC, I'll say it's my competitor, but again, if that's the only option for the client, I would, sometimes I advise them, especially the foreign nationals, because of the rate, and I advise them just go to RBC, because I don't have RBC rates. You know what I'm saying? And it's either they're getting that or they're getting nothing. So, but
Bottom line is to help the client or that,
Yes.
yeah.
but not all of them get approved for RBC. I don't know what are the guidelines for RBC, but a lot of them come back, or they tell me like straight out, no, I'm not going to qualify for RBC. So I have no idea what is the guidelines with RBC, but I think it's more strict than what we have for foreign nationals here.
Okay, so Guadalupe, let me tell you what our plan is. I mean, not Guadalupe, Flavia, sorry. What our plan is a lot of the clients have a lot of equity sitting in their home right now, right? So based on that, you shouldn't have a problem if we're referring business to you, getting them approved. The reason why I say that is because on our end over here, we would be refinancing them and taking the equity out of their current property, giving them that 30% down payment cash or more for them to put down on a property in the US.
Yeah, I like the plan. I think it works.
Yeah, so
I think it works.
yeah, it definitely works. And that's the reason why we got both well, we've already established here, but we got our license in Florida, so that way we can dabble in the US and the Canadian market.
Well, it was a great pleasure meeting you in Orlando then.
Yes, it was.
Yes. So Guadalupe, that's why I said that we want to really build that team. Remember, we talked about the team?
Yes,
Where we're
yes,
going to
yes.
build. And then that's our goal. Like, it's all to do with marketing. Getting the clients is not the problem, right? We have
Yeah.
to market,
Right.
and everybody needs to
So
know.
just
what
think
we're
about
doing.
it. We just got our license in March.
Yeah.
And right now, and then we haven't really advertised. We're just casual conversations.
Mhm.
And I have 4 deals, and
Just
Prashana
4.
just got 1.
One. Yeah. This is
So
my-
I have 2 clients right now looking for properties in Florida. No, 2, 3, 4. Actually, I have 4. I have 2. One is looking for a rental. She just wants to test out the market. The other one's looking to purchase, hence the reason for all the questions, Flavia. And third, the other 2 are retirees that are looking for a winter they're old. So, or they're getting up in age and they're looking to have, to become snowbirds. So that being said, one of them has both of them have substantial amount of equity in their home that they're looking to either pull out or refinance, or we're going to figure it out, but it's coming. It takes time, but it is coming. And I actually do have another one that's looking for land in Florida. So actually 5. And that's just by talking. This is like we're not even getting our foot grounded yet, and just like advertising or social media or anything like that.
So now Flavia, in terms of the financing, just so we have something, do you have any type of document sheet that kind of goes over like the rates and what you need and what you're gonna need to provide, like a little bit of details?
I
that we-
do, and I can send it over to you.
Yes, please.
Can you send me your email? My email, it's, you want to write it down? It's Flavia, FLAVIA
Okay,
dot
yeah,
Portal, PORTAL at ccm.com.
okay, perfect.
Send me an email, and you know what I'm gonna send to you. I'm gonna send what I send to the client. Okay, which is it has like an introduction. It tells about a little bit about us, and then I'll have attached all the sample letters. I didn't know you guys are in mortgage, so if you guys in mortgage, it's much easier because then you guys understand most
Yes.
of those documents. Yeah, and then we go from there. I do have other outlets for rates, adjustable rates. I have adjustable rates at 5.25. Usually some of the foreign nationals, they have a hard time with adjustable rates, but since you guys are used to adjustable rates, that's not gonna be a problem. So
Yeah.
maybe we can, we can just go ahead and use 5.25 instead of, 7.9.
Okay, got it.
The amortization is for 30 years, but the rate is fixed for 5 years. They don't have to refinance in 5 years, but after 5 years, they go into an adjustable rate. So it means it can go up, can go down, or it can remain the same. It really depends on the market. But I wish they had to refinance every 5 years. I kind of like that.
Yeah, that's interesting.
you don't have to go running for business. They keep on coming
Right?
back to you.
Yeah.
Oh my
As
god!
long as you treat them right. Yeah.
Yeah.
You tell me. No. And the people here that, we're coming out of a market with a very low rate. I mean, I don't think I'm gonna see those clients anytime soon.
Right?
When they call me for a cash out, they all want to do a HELOC because they have 3.25, 2.9, and oh my gosh, I mean, I'm like, don't ever touch the rates. That's free money. But if they want to get cash out, they have to do a HELOC. That's what they're trying to do. Or some of them, they will just cash out, change the rate, change the long term. I mean, whatever it works, right?
Mhm. Okay, perfect.
But yeah, as soon as I get to the office, I'll send you all that information.
All right. Thank you so much.
Where are you guys located in Canada?
We're in Toronto.
Toronto. That's a very hot market, right?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, very expensive. I know a realtor here, commercial realtor.
Mhm.
She has a sister-in-law that lives there, and she said that market it's so high and it's so expensive, and she said it's close to impossible to buy in Toronto now. People are just
Yes.
going out of Toronto.
Yes. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yes. The market's very hot. Very hot in Toronto. You're getting a matchbox for like 700,000, and that's like
Matchbox.
520 square feet.
I haven't heard that expression in a while. I used to live in Massachusetts, and
Right.
we say matchbox there. Here in Florida, we don't say that, but in Massachusetts, we say matchbox.
Oh God, because it literally will like there's
Yeah,
no room.
cardboard.
Literally 700,000 for 520 square feet.
Woo!
Yeah. And I thought Florida was bad.
No,
Oh my goodness.
Florida, it's catching up. That's why we have to invest here in Guadalupe, because we're catching up to the rest of the country and Canada.
Yeah.
That's why they all want to buy here, because we're still cheap for them.
Yeah,
Yeah, you are. You are.
You're killing it with the rates though.
Yeah, the rates are
2,000, 25 square foot home for, like 300, 350. That's cheap.
Yeah.
That's why we got this influx from California, New York, so
well, New
Canada.
York. Look at New York is crazy ridiculous right now.
Yeah.
Well,
And
thank
how long have you
you
guys
guys
been
so
in the
much.
business?
I've been in it 25 years.
I've started 2 years ago.
Yeah, I've been in the business 20 years and I want to get my daughter in the business. How did you do, Sandra?
Listen, my daughter
You let
didn't
her-
want to
let
come
her
in the
starve?
business. No, she didn't want to come in the business. She want nothing to do with the business, to be
See,
honest.
that's my
It's
daughter's.
too,
Yeah.
did you hear her say she started 2 years ago? And I
I
said I've
heard,
been doing
yeah.
it for 25 years. That
Yeah.
alone should tell you.
Yeah. I tell my daughters, you should join me. You're like, never, mom, I'll never do that.
Oh
I
no,
grew
mine
up.
said the same thing. How old is
They
your
said-
daughter right now?
I have a 22, 20, and 15.
Okay, so the 22-year-old, when she gets around 27, 28, she may change her mind, because guess
Yeah.
what? Their standard of living is quite different, and on top of that, like, do you do a lot of paper pushing? Like, because when I went from a lot of papers, because I used to have files all over the place, boxes and boxes, and then after I went paperless now, so everything's
Mhm.
all done on a computer, that's when
Mhm.
she decided to join me.
Mm. Yeah, no, I mean, right now, like the same, everything is on the cloud. But they went through and they, and I tell them, you guys should join me. And they're like, no, mom, we grew up, listening to what is the appraised value, where is the money. It's funny because they know the vocabulary, they know.
Yeah. Yes.
But I have a feeling, like you just said, at some time when they go to the real world and see what's there, they're gonna come back. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, they will. You just have to give them time. You did the right thing. You planted the bug. The bug is now flying around, and it will eventually bite them. And then they'll turn around and say, "Oh, well, I should have did this a long time ago."
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, do you like now, Chandra? Like, do you like it or like?
It's a hit and miss. The way the market's been, I really liked it last year. I really did like it last year with the interest rates and how everything was going.
You didn't have to sell anything, right? It's just, here's the rate.
It was very, very simple. No complaining from people with rates. This year, there's lots of complaints as well, even though it's beyond our control, because they're used to hearing what it was last year, right?
Yeah.
So, just even saying the rate, the rate's 5.29. Like, I feel so uncomfortable saying that because it's so high compared to like last year, I was able to give someone a 5-year fix for 1.99, and this year I was offering 4.79. Now I'm offering 4.29. Like, that's a big difference in such a short time frame.
I always tell them that was not a normal rate. I mean, for us here, COVID, I said that was not a normal rate. I'm sorry, I don't think that's coming back. But I have to tell you that I love it too. And like, I remember quoting people such a low rate, and if they ever told me anything about the rate, I was like, don't you dare complaining about this rate. Okay, this is free money for 30 years.
Yes.
I mean, you can't get any better than this.
Yeah.
And they were just like, yeah, you're right. Some of them, they just have the habit, right? It's just It's just a habit. Like when you're buying a car, you know, you have to ask for that discount.
Yeah,
When you're quoting a rate, oh, can you do better? Or
Mhm.
I think it's just a habit of,
they
you
don't know how
of doing
good the
that.
rate really is, yeah. Now I'm pretty sure
Well,
they're
now they know.
laughing, especially those that got the fixed rate, they're laughing right now. That
Yeah,
got the
no.
fixed rate last year,
Now they know. Now they know.
yeah.
And the ones that didn't listen to us, they regret. I mean, I myself regret of not buying, you know, second home with that, you know, such a low rate. But
Yeah.
hey, you know, we're gonna see all the opportunities for sure.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But ladies, nice, you know, it was a pleasure meeting you guys.
Yes, it was a pleasure as well. Thank you so much, Guadalupe, for connecting us.
No
As we
problem.
you.
My
had lots of financial questions.
Thank you,
And then
Guadalupe. And thank
Flavia
you,
would like to
Flavia.
go, girl.
Pardon?
I said I knew Flavia was gonna answer our questions.
Yeah, perfect.
So Guadalupe, you and Flavia have been working together for a long time?
I've only been a realtor for a little bit over a year and a half.
Okay.
And since I started, I've been with Flavia. I met her at our NARAP association. We were
Mhm.
both on the board of directors.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Well, it's a pleasure doing business with you both. I look forward. Let's see how the first couple of deals are gonna go, and then we'll take it from there.
Exactly.
Awesome.
Likewise, ladies, thank you so much.
Thank you
You're
so
welcome.
much, Flavia, and thank you so
Welcome.
much, Guadalupe.
All right.
Take care.
All right.
Have
Have
a
a
good
nice weekend.
Have a
You
good
too.
weekend.
Bye bye.
Bye-bye.